Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Vic and today I'm gonna be cooking 3 briskets, and I'm going to do a comparison cook between the 250 gallon smoker and the Old Country Pecos and see how they both turn out. But first I'm gonna get to trimming, and all these 3 briskets I got one at 17.98 pounds, 17.94 pound, and 20.16 pounds. So two just under 18, one is a little over 20 pounds. Alright, so what I do, I use the curved boning knife here to trim, and I like to open the bag on the thick fat here on the back, because it's gonna end up being trimmed away, and you don't want to make any cuts into the meat when you're opening the bag. And this is what it looks like untrimmed. I don't know if you can see that. It's already in a pretty good shape. First, I like to trim from the meat side first, and I'll normally take this hard fat. So my goal when I'm trimming is to get the best shape possible, because I think shaping the brisket is critical when you're cooking them. I've learned a lot in the past year, having cooked a lot of brisket almost every weekend. When I first started, I was just trimming minimally because I wanted to save as much meat as possible. I don't want to waste anything, but by doing that, sometimes I get crispy edges or it doesn't cook right, and now I trim way more aggressively, but in the end the result is much better. Alright, try to clean up all these fat here on the back. My goal is to try to smooth everything out. I don't want any grooves or divots or any pockets, so that's what I want to try to do. And I always try to trim, make a clean cut here on the side so I know how much fat is on top. I'm just gonna eyeball and cut right about there. My goal is to create a new side here where the new meat is exposed and how much fat is on top. And I always try to take this hump. I used to just leave it on here and just trim the hard fat on the side, but I like to have a good shape, almost like a bullet or like a loaf bread, where everything's round and smooth, because when it's in the smoker, the smoke can just go up the meat smoothly and it'll cook better. And it's always better trimming brisket when they're cold, because it's easier to cut through the fat when it's cold than when it's already warmer. Alright, technical difficulties. We gotta switch cameras. I've trimmed 2 briskets already, and this is the last one, the biggest one, the 20-pounder. Alright, always start by trimming this heel fat in the back. Now I'm gonna weigh the trimmings that I did. Whew. Just a little under 17 pounds off of the 3 brisket. And this I'm going to dice later. Gonna make into tallow and go into these meat. Gonna go into my wife's soup, our soto padang we make, and it's not gonna be wasted. But now we're just gonna season these briskets and have it go in the smoker soon. For seasoning, I'm just gonna do salt and pepper today, and I use kosher salt here, Morton, and coarse black pepper I got at Costco. People use 16 mesh black pepper, and this one from Costco I believe is between 12 to 14 mesh, which is a little bigger than the 16. But yeah, I've been using this all this time and it's worked great. And the ratio, normally what I do is use a measuring cup. So about that ratio. It's not 50-50, it's probably 60-40 or 55-45, but I like a little bit more pepper than the salt. Then I normally put it in a shaker, like so, which I already did, and always move it around so it's evened out before you apply it. And I'm just gonna have this ready just in case I need a refill. And I always use mustard as a binder. I'm just gonna, I always go meat side first because this is gonna be placed on the bottom. You won't see it after you cut. So I'll go this side first. Just got the mustard. I don't think the mustard adds any flavor. It's not gonna add into the flavor of the brisket. I just use it as a binder just to make sure the rub sticks on the meat. Then I'll just start seasoning. Alright, so now I'm gonna start the fire. I'm using Kingsford charcoal briquettes and chimney full. Just light a starter cube. There you go. Up. and we'll wait about 8-10 minutes to get it lit up, and we're gonna put it in the firebox. All right, it's about 10 minutes later now. The chimney's lit up. I'm gonna try to split it into the 2 smokers, see if I can do it. Just get a little bit over here. Over here. Hopefully that's enough to light it up. I'll leave it on there for a while. Add some wood. This, I'm gonna assist a little bit. Oops. This. That should catch. So catching a little bit, and we'll get it up to temp and load up the meat. All right, so now the pit's up to temp. I got about 275 on the Pecos, so I'm gonna load up the brisket. I'm going to put one of the small ones here, like so, and I have a water pan over here, and that's that meat. Little touch up. So that's good. Let's go over here. It's also running about 250-ish. All right. So this is the other 18-pounder. Right here. This would be the bigger one, 20-pounder. Up here. Cover any bald spots, like so. And it's about 5 minutes to 11 right now, and I'm gonna let them go at about 250, 255 temp for 3 hours. And we'll come back. All right, so now the brisket's on about 45 minutes. Now I'm able to separate the trimmings into meat and fat. As you can see here, diced up the fat about this size. I'm going to put in the oven and try to render it, make into tallow. And the meat, I cubed it up about an inch, inch and a half. Some bigger, some smaller, these kind of chunks, and these are gonna go into our soup as a base and gonna go in the fridge. Now I'm just gonna put this in the oven for about 235 and just put it on there and wait for it to melt. All right guys, so it's about 2:10 right now, so the brisket's been in for over 3 hours. I'm gonna give it a first check, see if it needs spritzing and see how it's doing. All right, here we go. The temp right now is running about 250. See how it is. All right, it's taking on color. I'll just give it a little spritz here. I think it's doing well. Alright, I'm gonna give it another go, and let's see the one here. Let's see how this is doing. Alright, it's sweating a little more. I think it's a little more moisture. Get a little spritzing on the edges. And this thing is curling up on me a little bit. Maybe it's a little too hot. I'm gonna back off on the fire a little bit and let it go some more. Alright guys, a little over 4 o'clock now, so that means it's been on about 5 hours, a little over 5 hours. So I'm gonna check. This is the second time. First one was at the 3-hour mark. Now it's 5 hours. Let's see how this one is doing. Okay, it's still kind of hard. Up the temp on this one a little bit because it's been windy here and I had to fight the temperature spike on the Pecos. But let's see what's going on with the 250. Alright. Okay, this is more sweating. Let me just stick this a little bit. It's doing good. And this one is curling up a little bit. I'm gonna put a little foil just to set the edges so it doesn't crisp up too much. That one is fine. Bark is forming, it's taking on good color. I'm gonna just put a little bit on top here. And then there's a little pool going, just need to tip it. Other than that, it's going fine. Just cut this a little bit. And let it go. Alright, so now I'm gonna check on the tallow in the oven. I put this in about 12 o'clock, so it's been in there for 4 hours. Put the temp at 250. And let's see. It's rendering out. It's rendering out a little bit. Still got a lot more to go. So it helps if you have a grinder and you grind all the fat before putting in the oven. But I don't have a grinder, so I try to dice it up as best I can. There you go. Let it go a little bit more. Let's see how it is in an hour or two. Alright, now almost 6 o'clock, so it's been going on about 7 hours. I'm gonna show you the fire I got going. That's on the 250. It's about 283 on the crate level. And then 279 near the stack. Let's see how it's doing. Nice. It's taking the color and then a little spritz there. The block is nice. Can leave that open. I like the color so far. Let's see. Let me show you the fire on this one. Smaller fire box, little fire going in. And it's right about 275. Let's see how it's looking. Oh yeah. It's taking on nice color there. Let me put this spritz in. I see the fat is already separating there. Alright, it's got a little more ways to go. So 7 hour mark, check. And I normally wrap when it's like at 9 hours. So I got a couple more hours to go. And the spritz that I'm using is about 40% apple juice and 60% apple cider vinegar. I'll come back later. Alright guys, I pulled the tallow, but didn't get a footage of me straining it, but I've strained the unrendered fat and put it in these two bowls. So this is our tallow, and that was for 6 hours at oven temp 250. I'm sure if I use higher temp or if I slice these smaller, I could probably yield more tallow, but then that'll take more time, and when you do it at a higher temperature, it tends to get burnt and stick into the pan. So at 250, it's I think a good temp to slowly render it. It does take a little bit while, but this is what you get. This is liquid gold, as they say. So yeah, this is from the 3 brisket. Alright guys, so it's about 7:45 right now, and it's hitting the 9-hour mark. I'm just gonna wrap. I checked it earlier, the color's there, temperature about 165, 170-ish, and I don't want to lose light, and it started to get windy, so I'm just gonna wrap right now here on the firebox. Ooh, wind. Yes, stay put. I'm gonna grab this one first. I believe this was the 20-pounder. That. I'm doing this so I could rotate. Alright. Other one. One from the Pecos. Nice color on here. Going back. Alright, so I'm liking all the colors from both smokers. They look to be cooking about at the same rate. So now I am going to raise the temp anywhere between 290, 295, 300 still okay because they're already wrapped, and hopefully another 3 hours left or so. Come back. Alright guys, it's 10:10 right now, so it's a little over 11 hours. It's been windy out here and cold, so I decided to put a meat probe on the brisket just so I can monitor it from inside. And now the Pecos brisket is reading at 207. I think she's done. Let me just oh yeah. Feels really tender. There you go. She's looking done, and I'm gonna bring it inside and rest it. Alright guys, it's about 12:59, 1 o'clock right now, so it's been 14 hours. I think the 2 briskets and the 250 are ready. done deal. Oh, juice is coming out. Alrighty. So, finally done. About 14 hours on these two. I'm gonna let it rest. And then, gonna get the slicing next. Alright, y'all. So now it's about 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. So it's about 22 hours after we first started cooking the brisket. And it's been resting in the oven. I gave it a rest about 3 to 5 hours at room temperature, and then I put in the oven at 170, which is the lowest setting, and I'm gonna see how they are now. Alright, this is the first one. Close this. So this is the one that we did in the Pecos, and I pulled it at about hour 11, so 11-hour cook. So it's looking not too bad. I'm just gonna weigh it for just under 7 pounds. All right, not too bad. This one started at 18 pounds after trimming and cooking shrinkage. Come out to just a little under 7. Eyeball, and start slicing and see. Check this one out right here. Let's see, not too bad. Spilling pretty easily. I'm gonna try to see how the rest fares. So some people stop like at this point where the point and the flat meet right about here, but I like to go a little bit more, so when I slice this way I don't have such a long cut on the point side. I think this is where the point. Not too bad. I think I'm pretty happy with this one. This is what I find problematic when I'm cooking with the Pecos. It's really hot at this end, and sometimes it just gets too crispy and it just burns a little bit. And this is, I like that. Just the seam fat, seam rendered there, and this is the moist, the point. Looks tender, and this is the bottom side of the flat. I'd say not too bad. I'm going to, let me see, should I slice more? Maybe I'll leave it like that. And then, oops. Alright, that's the Pecos brisket. I'm gonna check out the other one. Alright, now you're gonna see the other two that was in the 250. See how they're doing. Oh yeah, see a lot of juice here. Alright, these two are from the 250. I believe this is the 18-pound one. This is the 20-pound one. I will try to open this one. ones. Let's see what the weight is on this one. Huh. 7.6, a little bit more than the other 18. It could be that from the trimming aspect, I trimmed a little less on that one, but yeah, came out a little even. And let's see how it does. I feel a little more jiggle here than the other one. And see the bark, not as hard as the one from the Pecos. I think it's because the temperature on the 250 is a little bit more stable. I don't experience too many spikes as with the Pecos, but yeah, let's see how it slices. Try one of these out. Full test. Oh yeah. I think the flat on this one is more tender. Let's see how the other fare. Alright, let's see. Juicy. This piece all rendered out. Alright, let's see. Just slide this for a minute. And see how they slice on this one. There you go. Good shot of the point. As you can see, the moist side, so nice. Got smoke ring on here, seam fat rendered out, and I have to say, the 250 came out better, just because, like I said earlier, steadier temps. Even though it's a longer cook, this was 14 hours, and Pecos only took 11. But yeah, I definitely like cooking in the 250 better, because I have to tend the fire less compared to the Pecos, where I always seem to have to check it every 15-20 minutes, add wood or adjust temps and whatnot. And with the 250, I can just let it go half an hour, 45 minutes without, you know, messing around with it. But yeah, that's how everything turned out. Let me turn this around like that. And let's see on the taste. I'm gonna need a volunteer from my camerawoman here. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, let me give you a little here just to try. See how that tastes.
It's good.
Good? All right. And this is the one from the Pecos. Little piece of the flat. I'm gonna try it myself.
Same thing.
Same thing, yeah. We use pretty much the same rub, same wood, which I use almond. Almond wood is what's abundant around here. Central California is the biggest almond producer in the world, so we get a lot of almond wood, and that's what I used. And it's easily sourced locally. And try this. Yeah, tender, juicy. The smoke flavor from almond wood, not as strong. It's very subtle. It's Great pairing with beef, chicken. So yeah, that's what I've been using. And let's see what else. As far as wood consumption, I want to say I use about 14, 15 splits on the Pecos for the cook. They are smaller, and I use, I think, about 23 to 25 split for the 250, and I use the larger one. So it uses about, I want to say, at least double the wood that the Pecos use on the 250. But I can also cook maximum 9 brisket. So on the 250, compared to, I can only do 2 on the Pecos. But yeah, I hope you guys like the comparison, and this is what I've been working on the past almost a year or so, making briskets, learning a lot. And let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. And don't forget to click the subscribe bell and get notified whenever we put out new content. Thanks, y'all.